You know what? We don't got time today. Too many crazy things happen. We're gonna skip the intro. Let's go into the juicy part, okay? We're talking about the Strain season 4, episode 7, Ouroboros. So let's just get all the cryptic stuff out before we get to like what the hell happened, right? So Ouroboros basically it refers to that symbol of that snake eating its tail. You guys have seen it, that circular symbol where the snake is eating its own tail. So that's Ouroboros, and it basically just signifies, the circular nature of life and of everything basically. How everything has a beginning and an end, life and death. And that was seen in a few different things throughout this episode. So I think I'm gonna get to the reactions to how I feel about stuff and how things made me feel. But you saw that with the whole snake, the symbolism of a snake eating its tail, that was perfectly matched to Eichhorst and the professor. These two mortal enemies who've been immortal. And we find out in this episode how the professor does it. These two immortal enemies who've been stuck in this conflict for over 50 years, as the professor said. And it was fitting that Eichhorst met his death at the hands of the professor. Eichhorst representing the Strigoi, death, and the professor representing life. And the fact that Eichhorst died eating his, symbolic tail by eating the professor, by stinging him, and the professor's blood killing him because he had all that warfarin in it. It was very fitting, and it definitely meant what the symbolism was meant to be from the Ouroboros. So I think that was the overall symbolism of the head eating its tail, the snake being Eichhorst, and the tail being the professor, and it all coming full circle. So I think that's definitely the overhead message of the episode. It's called Ouroboros. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It sounds like Ouroboros. Anyway, so that's what I think it meant, guys. But there were other times that this came to the front. For example, one can say that Ouroboros also means the fact that the human society, human civilization, kind of ate its own tail on this one, right? Because just like when F explained to the professor that Zach was responsible for detonating the blast, the nuclear bomb on Liberty Island, we also had the same thing happen with Sanjay, a human, detonating the explosives which destroyed the bridges in the outer tunnel, so there was no access to the mainland. So again, when the professor was scolding Gus and telling him that people seek comfort instead of seeking the fight against the Strigoi, and that's why the master's winning, that was perfect. That was perfect right there, because Sanjay, just like Zach, hit that detonator. We saw a detonator in his hand. So humans themselves are eating their own tails. So I saw Ouroboros there as human civilization itself is the cost of eating its own tail, basically, in this case. So that was also a case of Ouroboros, of a snake eating its own tail. And Sanji is definitely a snake because he's a collaborator, and just like we saw with Cream, I call him Kareem, but Cream, he ate his own tail too because he's ballsy as hell, right? The guy got balls. Remember the episode where he was telling Gus, screw going in through the tunnels, we're going to go right through the front door and get those cops, right? Well, he was going to eat his own tail on that one. He's so brave, and he's a smart guy. But he definitely outplayed his own hand, and he ate his own tail because he thought that he could negotiate with the master. He didn't know the master's power level was crazy, right? And the master just just blew up that grenade in his hand. I was like, oh, you saw Cream's hand? He's like, let's think about this again, man. He couldn't give him the eye, right? So Cream ate his own tail. Ouroboros on his ass for thinking that he can negotiate with the master. So he ended up eating his own tail on this one. Let's move on to the episode itself. A lot of things happened, yo. It was really juicy this episode, and I'm shocked. I'm definitely shocked. Let's talk first about Painted Black. So the episode opened with Painted Black, Rolling Stones, and it was appropriate because the minute that Fett and Quinlan landed with Roman, who rolled up? But Painted Black Strigoi bread trucks. That's right, repurposed bread delivery trucks showed up with a whole bunch of Strigoi, and the team had to lay him down. It was really funny though when Roman comes out of the van after Quinlan and Fed are taking care of all the spatula Strigoi, and he's like, you guys already? You got them all? You got them all? That's what he said. You got them all? Roman knew, and it's funny because Roman so far has been pitching it, right? He wasn't trying to have none of that. He was like, you guys are good. You guys are good. So the dynamic duel lands. They got the nuke on the ground, and remember, Ouroboros sounds a lot like Outer Boroughs in my opinion. So I thought the episode was Outer Boroughs till I really took a look at the title, and it's fitting because they spend most of their time, the team, in the Outer Boroughs, while the Master was in the Empire State Building in Manhattan. The team had to work their way from Long Island, and when they finally got to Brooklyn, they took down the Brooklyn Bridge, y'all. Do you believe that? I live in Brooklyn, and when they took down the Brooklyn Bridge, I was like, really? Really? You gonna take down the Brooklyn Bridge? Anyway, Sanjay again. So they took down the Brooklyn Bridge. So they were stuck in the outer boroughs. So did you notice that? That the Master basically isolated himself inside Manhattan. So the episode could have been outer boroughs because it was all about isolating himself, and he destroyed any connection to Staten Island. It's by water anyway. They can't cross water. The Bronx, Queens, and Brooklyn. So they're all gone. There's no connections. They're gonna have to swim or get on a boat to get to the mainland, to get to Manhattan now. So because the outer boroughs were destroyed. Not the outer boroughs, but the connection, the bridges, the Brooklyn Bridge, y'all, was a casualty tonight, was destroyed. So F, right, he brings Alex to the city. So everybody's reuniting in the outer boroughs, right? So F brings Alex. Alex gets to meet Dutch and the professor, F, and they all meet up, right? They're all in the outer boroughs right now. And what's crazy is why I don't understand what the writers were thinking. They brought Alex all this way. I thought she was gonna play some type of significant role, but they just ended up killing Alex. Alex was taken out by freaking Strigoi Cream. Man, Cream was giving a lot of eyes for a while now to Gus, and I really thought that it was going to be human, and I didn't notice that it was going to be human Gus and human Cream who were going to go at it. But again, Ouroboros, right? The snake in the tail, Gus and Cream, and it was fitting that Gus finally took him out because Cream was giving him all types of eye. Remember that? So he took Alex out. So I don't understand what happened with the character of Alex. They brought her along all this way just to have her die. I thought it would be more significance, but in life, a lot of times there's no meaning to things that happen, right? So I took it for that. I was hoping there would be more to Alex's character. And as F was nursing the professor back, we finally learned I knew it. I said the reason that F left was not just to run from the Strigoi, but to run from what he thought he was responsible for, because he feels the guilt of his son Zach destroying Liberty Island, setting off this nuke, and basically the events that happened, right? But we found out from the professor his secret. He finally let his secret be known to everyone that he's 95 years old, y'all. 95. This 95-year-old could kick ass though, right? So he's been cooking the white, this alchemist recipe, and that's how he's been maintaining his strength. So he finally, the minute he started giving out secrets, I knew it wasn't gonna go well, y'all. The minute he started letting go of secrets, I knew things were gonna go south. A lot of things happened in this episode. So the professor finally unburdens himself, right? He tells him, this is how I've survived this long, and F unburdens himself, and the professor forgives F. There were two big speeches in this episode, y'all. Two Pat Riley moments, Mighty Duck moments, when I was like, wow. The Master gave an epic speech to Eichhorst. Eichhorst is like, Master, kill me, I failed you. And the Master just reaches down and he pulls out his best Mighty Ducks Pat Riley speech, and he just inspires. And he reaches into the fact, you know what, the Master is such a manipulator. You saw at that point, the Master doesn't care about Jews or Nazis, but he said that to Eichhorst because he wanted to rile him up. He wanted to touch inside him, guys. And you can see now in this episode, we saw that the Master is a massive manipulator. He doesn't really, I think he cares about Eichhorst in the sense that he needs his favorite tool to do his work for him, right? But we saw there that the Master just will say anything to manipulate Eichhorst. And Eichhorst, being the sheep that he is, he bit, right? He bit to the Master's speech. The Master gave a good-ass speech, though. He inspired him. And on the other end, the professor gave a couple good speeches, y'all. When he was talking down to Gus, telling him, hey, you need to pick yourself up, and people like you and thinking about Sanjay are the people who allow the Master to survive, because you guys just think about be doing best for yourselves. The Master gave a good ass speech. Then Professor Strakian, he gave a good ass speech too. There were two good ass speeches, y'all. And the best speech was, in my opinion, was when F was unburdening himself to him, and Satrakian reached out and said, "You know what? That's not your fault. It's the master's fault." And that was a Pat Riley speech if I ever seen one. So there were two good ass speeches in this episode, y'all. The thing that I want to talk about the most today is we lost Eichhorst. Eichhorst died. Eichhorst died. I didn't see it. I thought Eichhorst was gonna ride out all the way to the end, y'all. I was shocked. I was shocked. I was jaw dropped. I don't even. It's weird. Eichhorst is the villain, but we've come to know him. We've come to. I like seeing him down. When he loses, I like it. I like it. I was shocked that we lost Eichhorst, but it was a fitting end. He was calling the professor his number the whole time. A203, blah, 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 like Eichhorst just loves doing, right? Just rubbing that in. And out of nowhere, at the end, the professor comes out with probably the best speech. Correction, the best speech. Well, he's like, "I'm mad, I'm upset, I've taken the white, and I'm not gonna take this shit anymore." And he just lost his shit, y'all. And he's like, "My name is Abraham Satrakian, bitch." Okay, he didn't say the bitch pop, but it was like, oh, and he just took back his name, and that just rubbed in the fact because I didn't think it was gonna mean so much when they killed Eichhorst, but it did. It was like I was like, oh, they killed Eichhorst. I thought we had 3 more episodes to go, so I thought that's when it was gonna happen. So I was taken off. I was put off by this, and the fact that he bit the professor. So are we gonna lose the professor also? Looks so, right? So I'm taking back, y'all. It was a jaw drop moment. It was a Game of Thrones moment. Everybody's going out, right? And the professor, he just owned it. He said, "My name is Abraham Satrakian," and that just was to negate all the nonsense that Eichhorst was saying about A230 calling him his freaking name, and the professor just owned it at the last moment, and we lost freaking Eichhorst. And it's crazy because I guess I've really grown accustomed to Eichhorst, so I don't know, like who's really left there. I'm like, ah man, like I was hoping that wouldn't happen so soon. So 3 episodes left. Eichhorst is done, y'all. Cream is done, y'all. Alex is done, y'all. And Raul, you saw Raul, freaking Augustus' cousin. Raul had that one moment where he was like, "We family, y'all, we family." And that was it. When we saw that, we knew it wasn't gonna be good for Raul, because when Raul picked up that gun, we knew where it was headed. And Raul is dead, y'all. So we lost four people this episode. We lost 4 members of the show, 4 cast members out. They're gone, y'all. They're gone. So I think it's symbolism because we have Staten Island, we have Queens, we have Brooklyn, the Bronx, the outer boroughs, which sounds like Ouroboros. So we lost 4 cast members. And if you want to throw the Brooklyn Bridge in there, that could be Manhattan, right? I'm just grasping right now, y'all. So yeah, it was a crazy episode. We lost Thomas Eichhorst, who in my eyes was probably one of the driving forces of the show. Like that actor, the way that character is played, like I find him more entertaining to watch than anyone else on the show, honestly. And I think he represents the evil the best on the show, even more than the Master, because the Master he's a parasite, like the professor said. And Thomas Eichhorst, y'all, he's actually the most evil human you can find, right? The guy's actually a Nazi. He's a former Nazi or is a Nazi, and he was converted by the Strigoi. So he represented all the evils and that mankind could hold on to, and the temptation of the Strigoi. So seeing him go, y'all, was, I don't know, I was kind of shocked. I was kind of shocked. Yeah. So Thomas Eichhorst, y'all, he's gone. He's done. He's done. Wow. Who's left? What's left right now? I would say we have 3 episodes left. So the professor looks like he figured out at the end when he was talking to Alex what it might all mean. Like he's followed this book so long, the Lumen, he has the Lumen, he has it all over his freaking wall like a 16-year-old girl with boy bands, right? And he's looking at it, and I think he found the answer at the end. So now that he's been bit, is gonna live long enough to decipher what he found or to share with the team. That's what we're gonna find out in the next episode. Honestly, this episode took a lot. It was just very heavy, y'all, very heavy. So I think this is where I'm gonna leave it today. I think this is a good ending point. Let's just take that in, right? So the Strain, 3 episodes left. This is a Tone Show. This has been a very heavy episode. Let's discuss it in the comments. Let's talk about it in the comments. 3 more episodes to go, y'all. Tone Show out.